I just finished watching every single UFC press conference from the media day leading up to the fight night that's coming this weekend, and today I want to dive into the fighters' headspace a little bit, see if there's anything that we can take a look for. Maybe fighters are thinking a certain way, even if you want to take a look at it from a betting perspective. Maybe there's some hints and insights to figuring out who's going to win this weekend, because I wholeheartedly believe that these things matter, guys. If you're interested in hearing a particular fighter, timestamps will be in this video. Pin comment, description down below, you can find them there. And we are not going to be going through every fighter because some press conferences were a few minutes and there was absolutely nothing to take from it. So we're going to go through Manel Kape, Jim Miller, Johnny Walker, Magomed Ankalaev, and Ricky Simon. I can't wait for it, guys. We're going to get into that in just a second. Apologies for the long intro. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. I almost knocked over my headset. Let's start off with Manel Kape. So Manel Kape, there's honestly not too much to take away from him. He spent a lot of time talking about the division, talking about fighting Carl France. He's been talking about Matheus Nicolau and how there's not much changed from him. That's something we could really dive into a little bit. But the biggest takeaway from him is he is extremely confident, especially since he's been in a win streak after their last fight. He's become a better fighter. He's become more evolved. He wants in this fight to be aggressive because he let the last fight slip away from him a little bit, and he actually wants to finish him. But no matter what, he is going to come in there and do his thing. He's going to be much more aggressive. He doesn't want to leave it to the hands of the judges. And Manel Kape, I don't know. I'm really having a tough time picking who's going to win this fight, but with the mindset that Manel Kape is in right now, I really like what I've seen from him because he's sure that he can beat this guy. He seems very confident, but he is fighting a great opponent. So to dive in exactly if this is going to change anything, I don't know, because Kape was always kind of confident. It's just, it seems like he's being himself, to be honest with you. At least he's a little bit laid back. He's not so much worried about his opponent because he believes that Nicolau is the same guy. That could play into effect if Nicolau has worked on some things to potentially counter something specific that Manel Kape has done, but other than that, confident, he's going to be aggressive. That's what we can expect. Now for arguably the most interesting one, we have Jim Miller, okay? So Jim Miller, the first thing that he started opening up with, and Jim Miller is always pretty chill. He has a laid-back attitude, and that's something to take away from Jim Miller's press conference is that he's calm. He's been experienced. This is his millionth time doing it. If I'm not mistaken, he has the most fights ever in the UFC, but take that with a grain of salt because I don't know off the top of my head. Regardless, one of those guys. So the big thing to note is that actually he opened up about having extra pressure on him for this fight because of UFC 300. This is the first time that he's in a position where he's fighting here and he has the pressure of already having UFC 300 in April that he's going to fight and have to turn around against, okay? So I don't know if that's going to affect him, especially if Jim Miller opened up about that, or is he opening up about it because he's comfortable with it? Because what he did say, though, is I do have extra pressure on me because of UFC 300. I'm having 2 fights to kind of prepare for at the moment, but I love it. This is what I live for. So he was saying all that, but in reality, can you do it? You're over 40 years old now, so that's where it's really tough. I would imagine this isn't good. So another thing that isn't good about Jim Miller, speaking of his age, is he was speaking about how old he is now. He can definitely train, he can definitely hang, but he said the time that he will hang it up is when he can stop training. But he was speaking about his age and how he once injured himself by picking up a wrapper. Okay, so Jim Miller is aging, and that's pretty evident, but somehow the dude's still on a roll. I don't get how he's really been doing as well as he has, but other than that, he spoke about really focusing on himself, not focusing on his teammate, because he's made this mistake in the past, and I found this very interesting because his opponent hasn't fought in a very long time. So is he going to look into footage for over a year ago and then just prepare for a guy that could be a completely different fighter? Because I don't remember the opponent that he said that happened to, but he learned his lesson because he fought an opponent that was coming in with supposed ring rust, right? And he had tape a long time ago from that fighter where they were just throwing hooks, so he's preparing for hooks, and then the first punch was a straight that broke his nose. So now he's just focusing on fighting the best in the world to all of their abilities, no matter what. So the big takeaway from Jim Miller, guys, he's comfortable. Although he does have extra pressure on himself, I would imagine that's going to go against him a little bit because this is new for Jim Miller. While he's always very comfortable, this is extra pressure that he hasn't had before, and he's getting older. He's been talking about how old he is, and people forget this dude has Lyme disease too. So I'm not loving what I've heard from Jim Miller, but I am a diehard Jim Miller fan, and I hope that he gets the win. If I had to guess, though, after the press conference, I'm losing a little bit of hope for Jim Miller. Let's talk about Johnny Walker, though, guys. So Johnny Walker had a fairly quick press conference. Same with Magomed Ankalaev, to be honest with you. But the biggest takeaway from Johnny Walker is they asked him about last fight. And what Johnny Walker said was he's going to be like a robot. No matter what happened, he's not going to be emotional. He's going to go in there, stick to his game plan, and do what he has to do to win the fight because he felt really good last time. He feels really good this time. He's not letting any frustrations of the past fight, and no matter what Magomed Ankalaev had to say, because Magomed said that Johnny Walker quit, he's going in there completely emotionless. He's going to stick to his game plan, and he's going to do what he needs to do. I think that is the perfect way to approach this fight for Johnny Walker. He's just going to have to live up to this word here. I don't know if Johnny Walker will. I would imagine he would. He's had the experience now, right? But that's pretty much the only takeaway from Johnny Walker is he seems like he's coming in with a nice mindset. But speaking of nice mindset, though, guys, I want to talk about Magomed Ankalaev because I have a very good feeling after watching the press conference from Magomed Ankalaev because he's very motivated after last fight. He took the time to sit and speak about how if you really, really want something, that being the win over Johnny Walker, that being the number one contenders fight, it got away from him. And he has the opportunity to do that again. He's not looking at through any negative lenses. He is looking at it as more motivation. This got away from me. I want this so bad. He seems so hungry. He seems ready to get the title because he's had a lot of bad luck in the UFC. And apparently, according to Magomed Ankalaev, this has done nothing but motivate him, which is an awesome, awesome thing to hear from him. But he also took time to say that he's not injured. He's healthy, he's better than ever, and he believes he will be champion by the end of 2024. So this dude, very confident, great place, and a great mindset. I'm feeling good after watching that press conference. Got another quick one for you here, though. We're going to talk about Ricky Simón. So Ricky Simón, he was talking about how he's ready to fight. He took the holidays off, or he didn't pig out on the holidays. He was training. He's ready for the rankings. He wanted a fighter in the rankings, especially to bounce back after his last performance, but he wants to fight in the rankings and get to the title so bad that he's willing or ready to prove a point in this fight. So he's coming out. He's going to look to really, really make a statement. If you come out with the intention on making a statement, of course, it's a good thing, but I hope this doesn't mean he gets reckless or anything. But that's diving a little bit too deep into Ricky Simón. Regardless, the dude seems motivated. He seems chill. He seems like he really, really wants to get back and get the win. So I'm feeling okay about Ricky Simón. Feeling okay about him. But guys, speaking of Ricky Simón, do you have a most hated fighter in UFC? What about the community? The community hates a lot of UFC fighters, so I took the liberty in ranking them all in a tier list, taking Tapology's top 50 most hated fighters ranked by the community, and I ranked them in a tier list, guys. Go check out that video. Thank you so much for being here. Take care.